lot to tell Kryle. And I do mean a lot. Let's get started. So you've learned a lot more of the final days? Oh, more than you know. Then the journey was well worth the risk. No doubt your newfound knowledge will be a great boon to us all. Unfortunately, during your time on the First, events here have taken a turn for the worse. The Scions are running themselves ragged trying to contain the spread of blasphemies, but it's a losing battle. To try and ascertain the where and why of it, Alize and Alphino have been traveling all over. Of all the regions they visited, Locus Atmonas is one of the worst affected. Thancred, Estinian, and Graha took a detachment of allied soldiers there to offer aid and succor to those in need. But the province is vast. They only managed to visit a handful of coastal villages. It was an accomplishment worth celebrating, still, but a drop in the bucket at best. In the meantime, Mishtola and Master Matoya have been making a concerted effort to establish contact with Heidelin in the Ethereal Sea, but to no avail. As for Tataru and I, we've been keeping a close eye on the Forum. From what we gather, they've been constructing a vessel to ferry people to the moon, an ambitious project that has likely been years, if not decades, in the making. However, since we've no sign of it thus far, I suspect it's still incomplete. You will also recall the proposal issued by Master Fortuno to the people of Razanhan. Following their discussion, Vitra declared his support for the plan and urged those who wish to evacuate to accept the Forum's invitation. So far, so good. But that's where things get a little strange. Apparently, the Forum caught wind of the lunar teleporter in the Tower of Babel and decided to use it to deliver people to the moon instead of their mysterious ship. Therefore, to secure passage for the Hamish refugees to the tower, Alphino, Alize, Estinian, and Graha traveled to Garlemald not long ago. Trouble is, the capital was hardly the safest place to begin with, and now the final days have come to Garlemald. Oh, great. Shortly after our friends arrived, they were sent to rendezvous with Master Fortuna. Then, panic broke out, and our communications were severed. From what fragments we were able to make out before the link shells went completely silent, we can only assume the phenomenon has spread to the capital. The others need you, Sapphire. Please, you must help them. Having you there will make all the difference, I'm sure of it. Camp Broken is their first port of call, so you best start there. Hopefully you see a way where they are. There's no telling what you're running into, so you best take every possible precaution. Alright, here we go. Wow, this place does look very different. It's a duty. Sapphire, and not a moment too soon. Skies over Garlemald are ablaze, but it's events on the ground that concern me. As you will have heard, your fellow Scions arrived ahead of you. We cut the customary greetings short after we received word of our troops on the Magna Glacies that the Form's airship had landed. It was then that the heavens began to burn. Interesting. I dispatched your friends at once to assure the refugees come to no harm. I would have you join them immediately. Additional support is en route, but we will discuss them later. I trust you're ready to depart. Here we go.
No. 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 We were promised an escape. Not the same you we fled.
I shall not meet my final days here in this blasted waste. Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy. Come, we must build a line of defense. How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
I can handle this pair.
You shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
As you wish, my little lord.
Alright, who am I fighting?
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded.
Help is at hand.
Those who can stand, come with me.
You're safe now.
Love that line. What am I supposed to do?
Easy now. Deep breaths.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself.
Whatever.
No. 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 We were promised an escape. Not the same doom we fled.
I shall not meet my final days here in this blasted waste. Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy. Come, we must build a line of defense. How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
I can handle this pair. You?
Shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
Who am I fighting as?
As you wish, my little lord.
Am I a Stygian? Alpha.
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded.
Help is at hand.
Leave it to me. Those who can stand, come with me.
Easy now. Deep breaths. You're safe now.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself.
What?
No. Don't. I don't want to die.
Forward! Let not a single fiend escape!
Garlemald? Is this who I think it is?
Wait, that's... Euless and the army. So, you've recovered then? In time enough to be of aid, for once. We can speak of it more later.
For now, we must fight! To repay your salvation in kind, or with better! For Garlemald has her pride!
Of that I've no doubt.
Good gods. Of all possible saviors, the Imperial Army. Oh!
I had hoped to take all of them down at once.
Think a withdrawal might be in order?
Oh, sod that. You know who would never abandon these people to their fate. To be devoured by their former friends. That'd be beyond cruel. These beasts must fall here and now.
Well then, I'd say it's high time we threw caution to the winds.
So long as you spare me the heroic sacrifices. Now, let's go!
Right, that's all I'll say.
None to worry about. The air crackles with energy. Find cover!
As they say, turnabout's fair play. On guard.
There's not the barest trace of ether. Maybe there really is no way to bring them back. Thank you for saving our lives once again. I remember you, from Purusha. You helped us there too, didn't you?
Ah, you're from Palaka's stand. I'm glad you're still in one piece. Or you will be, once I see to that injury of yours.
Look out!
This was in the opening.
Get out of here! Quickly! I won't lose them! Not a one! This will be a brighter future! I won't let a madman's apocalypse ruin everything we've fought to achieve!
Get it together, Alizé. You're embarrassing yourself. And in front of father, no less. You might never measure up to our champion. But we ask too much of him as it is. You mustn't let Eorzea's hero fight alone.
I love it as I just casually strut up.
Oh. I can look after myself, you know.
Everything's in order, I trust?
I've had enough of this rabble! Come on!
Oh, a trio for the ages!
feeling I'd fight you. This should be the last of the worst troublemakers. With me! Where were we? You must board without delay. The ship will depart ere long.
Your offer to host us in Sharlayan is most appreciated. But will the final days not soon fall upon it as well?
Your hesitation is not unwarranted. The satrap entrusted me with your lives, yet I have failed your comrades. Nor are you wrong to fear that this corruption will continue to spread. I cannot promise you complete safety, even in my homeland. What I can promise is that I will do all in my power to protect you. That power is not inconsiderable. Even now, my countrymen are preparing the vessel that will deliver us to a sanctuary on the moon. Join us on our journey there, and beyond, to new horizons. Come to old Sharlayan. Please.
We would be fools to refuse such a generous offer made in earnest.
It seems they've a new destination.
The people of Radzat-Han have known too much suffering. The march to Garlemald will only bring them more, short though it may be.
I quite agree. Fortunately, they have you to look after them.
Yes. Well.
Behind you! Just there!
More of them.
Oh boy.
Xenos! Here!
Oh, this is gonna get interesting.
You'll be all right. Hurry to the airship.
Why have you come?
A heretofore unseen beast. 'Twas ripe for the slaying. Poor sport, alas. Unfit to temper my blade.
Oh, for the love of... You cannot still be on about a rematch.
That is and has ever been my sole concern. You, on the other hand, are fixated on a different quarry. Your passion pales before mine, yet neither hate nor despair seem sufficient to recapture your misdirected bloodlust. So, I hone my blade, and I wait.
That's it. That's all you care about. Garlemald is in ruins. Our homeland, the nation you rule, is as good as gone. Along with so many of its people. Not just soldiers like us. Not only those who fought and killed for power and duty. Innocent civilians. Murdered by their own flesh and blood. Lost and confused as they breathed their last. While we who survived with our lives and minds intact were left to freeze to death.
Ooh, this is...
The Eorzeans tell me all this was your doing! You slaughtered your countrymen! You did! For what?
For nothing in the end. So much wasted effort.
You. You bastard!
For your own sake, Eulus, you must control your anger. It will serve no one should it consume you and see you transformed.
Would you be happier Had I a good reason?
What?
Jeez, that's just adding salt to the wound.
If my motives met with your approval, would you no longer resent the outcome? If so, then perhaps a beast's skin would suit you better. Duty, honor, morality. All constructs of convenience when put to proof. Surely the war taught you how easily power becomes the tool of the self-righteous. How the people's justice was merely a means to their ends? Yet you would ask me why. Ask any creature of this star and those above for answers, and they will tell you what suits their fancy. And they would be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found in the petty vicissitudes of your existence must be gleaned by you, and you alone.
This is very much Never Meet Your Heroes. Jeez.
Should you seek it in battle in the fruitless pursuit of my demise, then come. Assume your rightful place as a notch on my blade.
Don't do it.
You are a blight on the Garlean race, and there would be no more satisfying way to expunge it than by beating you to death. But I will not be party to another tragedy. I refuse to lose anyone else because of you. So go. Go! And may we never suffer your madness again!
Xenos! Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day. You will never get what you want, not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
We're ready to depart. The refugee ships will be leaving shortly, but I've asked mine to remain for the time being. There's room enough for you to join me on it, if you wish. Do contain your surprise. I needn't agree with the Scion's methods or intentions to acknowledge that their deeds are deserving of gratitude.
We appreciate the offer. But might I ask why you are delaying your departure? I presume it is not solely for our benefit.
I must visit Garlemald ere we return to Sharlayan. Having caused such an uproar, it is only meet that I explain myself to the Ilzabard contingent.
Allow us to accompany you then. We should be glad to facilitate, given our familiarity with all concerned. If you would like to join as well, Eulus, we can speak of recent events on the way.
He'll be after your seat on the forum next.
To see Zeno standing there, so uncaring and unrepentant, gods, I don't know what came over me. I just blurted out the first thing that came to mind, but looking back on it, I stand by those words. I would say I hope they will entice him to further villainy, but to be honest, I doubt he even remembers what I said. Anyway, enough about all that. It's good to see you again.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuneau Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships are taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuno. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Charlian alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
Any other, I would doubt. But you, I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait. Did you hear something just now?
How? And what in the world?
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Oh my god.
Dawn may banish even the darkest night, and to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
He stayed. I forgot Urianger had stayed.
'Tis heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Aetherius. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvelous, they say, yet not an ons of pudding to be found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more!
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Heidelin's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
Forgive me, but are they...
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hail, fellow! Well met! You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Heidelin's right paw! That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I, bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Charlian, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperites made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart. For a time, at least. Nevertheless, 'twas worth the journey to find present company well. Will thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
I dare say Master Fortunato was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Heidelin's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Let us just return to the Annex forthwith. We may yet have time to discuss my recent adventures ere we are sent to the roster. Yeah, I know a lot of us teleport there. I'm complaining, Ryanje, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor IV. In extolling the virtues of Aetheris, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loporits a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Growl tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the Ethereal Sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelind's Elpis flower lead? And this Dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasa are one and the same, this all but proves that Hana's theory were an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of Aether. But if our star is so repellent with Aether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Medium, or rather the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe, all for the single purpose, the destruction of Theris. And our foe is no longer some unknown calamity. We have but one aim: to defeat Medium. Make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Medion and we deliver the world from the final days, but to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Medion escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Venon, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Venon you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Theris. Not to stay. Do you suppose that she has abandoned her pursuit of Medium? Aye, though not for lack of trying on Heidelin's part. Surely that's why she used me as a conduit for her will, and provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Medium. Naturally, our chosen method would depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communing with Heidelin must be a necessity. Come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. We were enlisted to help the Arenval and other Echo Blessed allies. We couldn't attend so much. We enlisted to help. presence is required in the wrong Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. My father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking this seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. The form is insufficient and as such that the rostra is closed to visitors. A scion of the seventh dawn. Very well. You may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, the sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest, and implements of war are expressly forbidden.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Charlian has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Charlian citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on two conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
"'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms? "71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Sorry about not letting the rest of you know my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both a means to compute with Hydaelyn and a reaching medium, the spur of the moment I saw involving others, ourselves, and the complexity of the arc as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of Aetherburner. I'd like to think it's not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how the Aetherburner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. step inside and have O'Fillin take you to the media circuit. Yay! Finally get to where we need to be. I've sent your associates ahead to Logistic Hub Alpha on the other side of Marianal Argonomics. Actually, there's something I have been meaning to. Well, never mind, it can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. forms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment. I've come to view such processes in light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiard and the inhabitants built for all mankind's mankind beneath the moon's surface. Each unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate of what awaits Etheris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for technologies that allow us to settle on distant stars. This is starting to feel like where is this place? Though the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, and thrive where it is barren, where all is barren. The last time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the Central Circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. I've created the form that says that I'm not permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Holy crap. It's like a human sitting in here. The Aetherburner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Corporal Dunkel, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary preparation have been made, I shall meet with him to discuss particulars in this way.
Could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Coco, think!
we'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think.
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards, and the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours. What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward. This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Wood expedition myself.
We're reaching out to everyone we know.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
times like these, we're reminded how famous or infamous Alpha now has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single pro conversation? As we're expected, rather, a lot of visitors in the near future, I best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact on my way that might be worth a try. Oh, who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. On that note, I leave matters here in capable hands. Best of luck. Of course, there's a cutscene.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Thiergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade, clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers. and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Are our deficiencies so plain to see?
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
There you are! We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah. A roar! A dragon's roar!
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honorable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Hmm? Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else you might do to be of service? Huh, you've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, all this up here. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. Graha! You there, the lad with the red ears and matching hair. Oh, red eyes and matching hair. Red ears. Red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. Huh, if only Master Kakol knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond our terms of our arrangement, but I would propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This will also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics and traverse the great expanse. And if nothing else, it means twiddling our thumbs while we wait for adamantite. Alright, let's do it. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers. If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholar types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Ha! That lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. some of that fresh inspiration, scholar Shy. I'm gonna call him Monty. Monty mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's apply the eighth leg once our work is done.
Wow, there's the spread out. Okay, I get it.
Helping with the arc, even with all the power Master Couples managed to squeeze out of the ether burner, it's still not enough apparently. Now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we've done the exodus sooner. People are dying and there's no need of it. There's no end to it. If we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment and believe in the plan and all will be well. And I'm an optimist. Somewhat. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Sure. Are you Aether Burner? Oh dear. I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few would use or what have you. For Yes, water drawn from underground, presumably from some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. The design, brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest environments. For sloppers, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable water source is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, the peoples of Etheros sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear. I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order. Once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual, it may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphonse spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Perhaps the operates will share this appreciation for that engineering marvel. Oh yes, they'll be absolutely splendid. In this journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlene Hamlet, I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice that many dangerous-looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. Were we not escorted by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, too many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth, loppers may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee the assistance in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way, and entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to back here. A more valiant protector I could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction, Woodson.